Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys some tips that you can use when shooting a boudoir video as a beginner and some mistakes that I learned so you could avoid them the next time you plan on your next shoot. What's good, creators? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for hanging out with me on another video. If this is your first time here, my name is Mark, and in this channel I share some video and photo tips to get you started with your content. So if you're interested, consider subscribing. Now, I recently did a boudoir shoot, and let me tell you, it's totally different from what I usually do. But that's what we do on this channel. We experiment and expand our horizons, try some new things, and learn from our mistakes. Now, the first tip I want to share is to have a plan when you're doing your video shoot. Before, when I was just getting started, I usually just improvise. The problem with this is that the video production will not run as smooth and sometimes will take longer. Now, there's also a chance that you'll miss some important shots that could make your video better. Part of having a plan is researching your location. Most of the time, a boudoir video happens indoors, so researching your location is important. This will let you know if you'll be working in low light or how much space you can work with. This will also give you ideas on where you can do your shots. In addition, creating a shot list is important when planning your video shoot. This will give you a guideline on what type of shots you need in your scene so you won't miss anything. And of course, you can always add into it when you're out of location. What I usually include with my shot list are angles, the type of shots, the lens that I will be using, and frame rates I'll be recording with. And if you're interested in how I create my shot list, let me know in the comment section below and I'll do another video on that in the future. Now, the second tip I want to share is to bring a video light with you. Now, my mistake was not bringing my video light. I wanted to travel light, so I didn't want to bring a lot of gear with me. I assumed that there'll be plenty of light where I'll be shooting the video. The problem with that is I didn't account for some parts of the room that I would be shooting not having enough light. So I ended up having some footage that had this yellow tint from the fluorescent bulbs. I mean, you could still fix this issue in post, but it's a lot more work. So I would have definitely brought my light if I would have known. Now, to add to that, the next tip is having audio. I suggest attaching an external microphone to your camera and capturing any audio you might have. Having a great sound design on your video makes it a whole lot better. If your subject is doing something, whether the clothes are falling on the floor and you have a close-up to it, having that sound will enhance the experience of the viewer. Those minor details just improves the video. Now, speaking of audio, having a great music to match the video is important. It sets the mood and how the video will be. If the music doesn't match the video, it just kind of ruins it. Now, for me, I usually find the music first that inspires the outcome of the video. Alright, the next tip is recording on the right FPS or frames per second. Now, most of the boudoir video is usually shot in slow motion. It emphasizes the action and captures the audience attention. So if you're planning on shooting a slow motion video, make sure that you're recording at a higher frame rate. Now, a good guideline to follow is the 180-degree shutter rule, which basically means that whatever frame rate you're recording with, double your shutter speed with that. So for example, if you're recording in a 60 FPS, then your shutter speed has to be 1/120th of a second. This will give your video the natural motion blur. Next is shooting in different angles. Most of the time, beginners tend to just shoot from the hips. Try to explore different angles when you're shooting your video. Shoot from the top looking down on your subject or shoot from the bottom looking up on your subject. Each angle will give different expressions. For example, if you're shooting from the top looking down, it conveys submissiveness. And of course, the opposite if you're shooting looking up on your subject. And add movements when you're shooting a video, either panning or tilting motion when you're shooting your subject. Now, the next tip I want to share is to take your time. Usually when I ask my friends for a favor to do a shoot with me, I try not to keep them longer than I have to. This also goes when you're working with a model. If you have a budget for your production and you're paying a model with an hourly rate, then you might feel pressured to rush things. Now, when this happens, sometimes we forget some important shots, or worse, not paying attention to details. Now, this means that our camera movement might not be as smooth, or we didn't realize that we're out of focus. Now, this goes with the first tip, which is planning. If you have a shot list, you can prioritize and do the important shots first. So just in case there's an emergency and the subject have to leave early, then you at least have the important shots to make a decent video. Now, the last tip that I want to share, or more like an advice really, is that don't be too hard on yourself. This is something that I need to take in as well. See, as creators, we tend to be our own worst critic. Unfortunately, we get into a habit of comparing ourselves with other creators. We either want our own videos to look like theirs or better, so we want things to be perfect. Now, I get like this a lot, especially when I'm ready to edit. Looking back on my footage, I'm like, man, I wish I could have done that better, or I should have shot more clips. But something to understand that that's part of being a creator. Sometimes things don't go according to plan and we have to expect the unexpected. Now, we still gotta adapt to any situation, but sometimes when you just let it happen, you'll be surprised on how the outcome of the video. Now, that's part of being a creator. We fail and we learn from our mistakes and apply what we learn on our next video. And as much as we tend to be hard on ourselves, we shouldn't let those things keep us from doing what we love. Well, I hope this video helped you guys on your next shoot. If you like this type of content, let me know by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel because I truly appreciate it. Until then, keep being creative, keep getting inspired, and I'll see you on to the next one. Peace.